Okay, today we're going to look at a different method that you can use to solve for solutions to an algebraic equation. You can use this method when your equation is set equal to 0, or when it's easy to get your equation equal to 0. So we're going to start today with the equation x to the 5th plus x squared equals x to the 3rd plus 5. So this may look like a familiar equation because we did some problems similar to it yesterday where we used the intersection method and just graphed these two pieces separately. But today we're going to try to solve it using the x-intercept method. So we need to solve this equation so that one side is 0. And so in order to do that, I just need to pick a side to move everything to. And I'm going to move my x to the 3rd power and my 5 over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to subtract x to the 3rd and subtract 5 from both sides. So that I end up with the equation, these two cancel out, x to the 5th plus x squared minus x to the 3rd minus 5 equals 0. Once we get the equation equal to 0, we're going to use our graphing calculators to graph the equation using our standard viewing window. So in order to graph your equation on your graphing calculator, you're going to go to your y equals button. And where it says y1, you're going to enter in this equation, but just the part that's set equal to 0, so just the part that has your variables and your numbers. So for y1, I'm going to start typing, and I'll zoom out a little bit so that you can see the buttons that I am pressing. I'm going to type x to the 5th and just scroll over, plus x squared, scroll over, minus x to the 3rd power, minus 5. And I can just ignore that equals 0. And I'll press enter. I'm just going to scroll in a little bit. So this is what your screen should look like. And at this point, I want to start seeing what my graph is going to look like in the end. So like I said before, we're going to use the standard viewing window, which is the same as z-standard. So before I hit graph, I'm going to go to zoom and just change my zoom so that it's right from the beginning. I want to graph it using z-standard or the standard viewing window, so I can either scroll down to 6 or just press the number 6 and hit enter. And so now my graphing calculator has graphed that whole equation. And from your graph, you're going to use the calc button to find your 0 to this graph. So where this graph crosses the x-axis, I want to know what the coordinates are for that point. And your calculator can calculate that for you. So to get to that setting, you're going to hit the second button so that you can end up at calc. So second, trace. And then I'm going to scroll down to where it says 0 so that I can find the 0 of my graph. And you're going to hit enter. So you'll notice at the bottom of your screen, your calculator is asking you a question. It's asking you for a left bound. So what that means is it's asking you to pick a point to the left of where your graph crosses the x-axis. So you can pick any point as long as it's before your graph crosses the x-axis. And the closer that you can get, the better. It doesn't have to be exactly close. This point would be fine. And you can see where your cursor is by looking for that blinking X. And you'll hit enter to pick your left bound. Now it asks you for a right bound, so a point that's to the right of the 0. And so my cursor is up here. It's to the right of where my graph crosses the x-axis. I'll hit enter. And now your calculator asks you, do you want to guess? Do you want it to guess for you where the graph crosses the x-axis? You're going to hit enter. And it tells you your point. It tells you a set of coordinates. So the solution to this coordinate would be at the point 1.424. I'm going to round to the nearest thousandth. And look at the point right next to it. It's 2, so it's going to stay exactly the same, comma 0. If I asked you what's the x solution or what's the x value, you would just write x equals 1.424. And that is how you graph using the x-intercept method and find your solutions.